Filling the hard drives. All right. Beyond the stars lies a web of pearls, each gemstone a miniature world unto itself. Upon these worlds, interconnected our stories are told, and the fate of creation hangs in the balance. Welcome to Titan's Gift. Greetings, and welcome to Titan's Gift. I'm your demon host, Marty, joined by the Seattle crew, Luke, Matt, Max, and Neil tonight. How is everyone doing while I get your... your mics are warm like toast. All right.
Howdy. How you guys doing?
Good.
Doing good.
It's
Pretty good. Thanks. How are you?
Sitting around playing a lot of Witcher because my wife's off camping.
How are you liking it? Nice.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's a good game. I'm not quite sure. Like, I pick up everything and I keep everything that has 0 weight.
Yep.
So I'm carrying around like an entire grocery store worth of herbs that, as near as I can tell, have no plausible use. I mean, I used them for this potion and that potion, and now I don't need them anymore. But I still have 600 of them. So
I think there is a chest you can access in certain towns to store stuff.
Oh yeah, but it has 0 weight. Why store it?
Yeah,
I mean,
free pocket space.
Unless you get tired of the inventory management. I haven't played the game, so I don't know what.
It's not that bad. It's not a separate tab.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am sort of more acutely aware that as I keep picking these things up, I'm like, I'm just doing it out of force of habit now. I know I don't need more of this herb. There's no way I'll ever need
some of the advanced potions because you level up different ones, and so you'll get more and more recipes and more. But it gets to a point where you just use it's like alcohol or something like that to replenish your potions. So you don't even need to grab
70 of anything.
Thanks for the sub, Neil. 12 months, long time, man. Long time.
Gotta get them Gwent cards, Matt. That's all the game's really about.
Oh my god, yeah. I watched a review of The Witcher on YouTube that was hilarious. They talked about how you're in the middle of, this is incredibly important. We've got to solve this problem right now. Hey, you want to play some Gwent?
Time? You got time for a game?
You know what I'd really like to do? Gwent.
Their version of
how about a random card? How about Gwent? There are no other card games.
It's like Varco.
Yeah. He's totally paid attention.
TM, by the way.
For whatever reason, I've got better cards than you.
I win. I get your cards now.
Yeah. Oh, you missed early on. The Vark have a game that they play, and we actually developed the card game. It's a card and dice game. No, it's a dice game. It's a dice game. Your mental ability scores plus number of dice, and you could play Varco. We played a couple of rounds of it, and then I think I forgot how to play it. I might have written it down somewhere. But anyways, we actually...
A couple beers, you'll remember.
Yeah, a couple beers, and put the dice out in front of me, and we'll play Varco again. Cool. Luke, what's up with you, man?
Oh, nothing. Just planning the girlfriend's birthday for next week. So that's the quarantine thing I have to look forward to. We're gonna try and get out this weekend if the weather stays clear, because the new moon is on Monday. Try and find some place to do some stargazing. I hear there's a really great spot called Sunset right at the foot of Mount Rainier, but it's a 3-hour drive, so we'll see if we want to commit to that.
It's a 3-hour tour.
Yeah, I hear it's really good, though. I hear it's really good.
Isn't there some sort of comet that's really close right now, invisible?
Yeah, there is a comet. I forget what it's called, but I think it's still visible for a few more days, so unless it burns off all its material, then it will go dark in the sky again.
Yep.
Stuff like that. Living the quarantine lifestyle. Fundemic, as some people are calling it.
Fundemic, yeah. Maybe
I haven't gotten out enough because I have not heard them saying that.
Right. This is how memes spread with me. Playing games.
So, I mean, it's good. It's good. Just trying to get out of the apartment. It's been 2 weeks since I've left the apartment, so getting a little tired of the constant sirens and traffic noise and banging and all of that. Really need some peace and quiet and some foliage, you know.
My new place is pretty quiet. Haven't had a conversation with another human being in person since, minus the checkout line at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Since February 28th.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Marty. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
No, I'm like some days I'm crawling the walls. Like this week, it's just kind of like, yeah, I'll just do my thing, whatever. Like, ask me on Friday, and I'll probably be like back up there. Like,
you have an outdoor courtyard or something in your building?
Yeah, there's a roof that I go to. Remember?
Oh yeah. Maybe sometime. Well, I could drive over. We could have a socially distant beer on the roof or something.
Hey, that would be amazeballs.
Bunch of fortune points getting thrown around in chat right now.
Yep. Let me go to the place where I keep track of this stuff. Audience points. I'm going to rename to.
Promise to use it for mischief.
Okay, so it looks like. I don't need one, Ahmed, so I don't have any NPCs in this party.
This one, fortune point, was +2 on a D20 roll?
+2 on any D20 roll that you could spend at your leisure.
Nice. Not +2 on the amount of summons I can throw out there?
No.
Because that would be like...
No.
That'd be good.
I will take your fortune point and award it to one of the players. I'm going to roll randomly. I'm seeing Luke, Matt, Max, and Neil in that order on my screen. So Matt will get the extra fortune point.
Nice. Try not to get Pharisee too deep into the combat again, Matt. That got a little too close for comfort there.
Don't walk on water.
Yeah.
Don't walk on water.
Swimming. I got it. More
Max,
invisibility, less swimming.
Max Neil. Oh yeah, that was bad. That was bad. Max Neil, how are you guys doing?
Go ahead.
I'm pretty good, thanks. We went to Oregon for a bit.
Nice.
To the coastline, which was very nice because it wasn't as busy.
Mm-hmm.
We had to walk with masks on Cannon Beach a little bit because, even though we could stay 6 feet away from most people, there were more people than you would like to be around during, COVID. But on the beach where we were, it was so big, there's no chance that you would get into contact with anybody else, and that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. See some nature, listen to the sound of the waves.
Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
So a bunch of rattlesnakes, which was pretty cool.
Whoa.
That was pretty cool. We had a house. The house that we rented is an Airbnb, and it had this big running lawn. And at the end of the lawn, there are rocks, and then you've got to sort of navigate the rocks down to get onto the beach. And a couple of times when we went down, we passed a rattlesnake, and a couple of times when we came up, we passed a rattlesnake. And we had the dogs with us and so on, so you have to be careful. And of course, it's dangerous, wild animal if you're, or a creature that's out there, and it's poisonous if it bites you. But it's still interesting to see them in nature in their own habitat, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's awesome. On my end, nothing super crazy. A couple of my friends had roped me into playing, that other game, 5th Ed, and I GM'd Tomb of Annihilation about 6 months ago, and they finally got into, hey, let's play online, let's do that. So our first session back, I dropped 3 of the 4 people and nearly had a TPK. That was pretty fun. I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Baby.
Wasn't the whole point of the Tomb of Annihilation just to kill everyone? Like it's a death dungeon. It's like.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I had tuned the encounter a little bit. I knew it was going to be rough. I didn't know it was going to be that rough for them. But it was pretty rewarding. I think they walked away from it and had a good time. But I told them, I'm not going to sandbag it. I'll make it fun, but I'm not going to sandbag it. Like, you should be thinking about the next character you want to play, because I'm probably going to kill you at some point. Like, that's what you guys signed up for. These are the dice rollers, not the role players.
Right.
It's called Tomb of Annihilation.
Yeah,
It's right there in the title.
it's on the box.
I'm not sure what they did with it. I own it, but I've only flipped through it, and I never ran the first or second ed version, like of D&D of Tomb. Although I might still have. I'd have to look. I went through a period, maybe about 10 years back, where I was grabbing a bunch of second ed material just to fill in the library. It's rough. It's like, no, we're going to run the Dungeon of Death, and things like Rapana Thuk, and like
they haven't even found the dungeon yet. Like, they're still tripping around in the jungle, getting wrecked by like roaming zombies and shit like that. It's just having a bad time. So everybody's having fun, so it's good.
That's good. You're gonna go, oh, we're finally at the tomb. There'll be a scene with them in some insane room trapped. They're like, remember the jungle?
I want to go home.
Looking fondly upon the jungle. All right. Why don't we do a recap of what happened last game?
You all right over there, Matt?
I know.
They're very affectionate. You will pay attention to me now.
It's really just like you're looking at the screen. I'm gonna put myself in between you and the screen.
It's not easy being green. Zephyros begins to clean up the Goathorn smithy. The party braves the streets of the Slewborough and the dangers of the Lilypad swamp to explore the submerged steam engine called the Direption. A trio of watery hags and their animal allies defend the territory against all interlopers, and at the last moment, Zephyros decided to join the party, and he is basically standing on the cliff face, overlooking the end of the battle, which was against a giant turtle and a hag riding the turtle, and you can see all sorts of tentacles still waving around. So basically, you spent time, Zephyros, cleaning up the Goathorn smithy. Remember the smithy that was next door? Well, Goathorn, I don't know if the players filled you in. Goathorn had succumbed to a greater version of the blood veil, and actually turned into a zombie of some sort, but he was still smart. And remember how the two of you hated each other? I think you missed the scene where he almost nuked the party with a necklace of fireballs by throwing it in the forge. Well, you guys took out Goathorn, but you now, in your manor, or your master's old manor, the Ironpine Residence, have a forge that can forge up to +3 magical arms and armor.
Nice.
So you stayed behind while they went to go check out the swamp, just to clean things up a little bit, to get it ready so that you could actually use it to upgrade some of your weapons and armor. After you finished that, though, you basically wandered over to the swamp to make sure that everything was all right. And we'll say that you cast a single fly spell to get over here quicker than than you would have. And I'm going to put Zephyros down.
I'll mark it off.
Zephyros, Makarnam, and your door. I will move to the... Where is it? The Lilypad Swamp.
Has there been a day of rest yet? I just want to know if my staff would have recharged.
Yep. Yeah, you guys rested an evening at the...
Okay.
2 nights. There have been 2 nights since you played last. Because I don't think you set out the same day you fought Goathorn, because that was a nasty battle.
Okay, so that means I've recovered 2 charges on my staff because I'm...
Yep.
All right.
Okay, the battle is just winding down. I don't know what you're doing with the bodies of the hags.
We should probably gather these things and make our way to those huts to explore the area. We do need to search under the water at some point, coins and evil spells and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, but I still can't get down there.
Yes, I suppose that will go away in a bit.
Son, can you turn this thing off?
Yeah. He's fiddling with a cigarette.
Does he do it, or do we?
No, he
Okay.
Could you, please?
If I do that,
walk it in the water.
if I do that, we'll all be swimming, and I won't be able to have my smoke.
Right. How about we carry all these bodies back then? You guys can catalog loot or something, and then I'll get back in the water.
You should probably not go alone, but I'm not sure I want to be the one that follows you.
Yeah, let's drag these back. And he starts. Bukerbeck splashes over and kind of flips the floating body of the green hag onto the giant turtle back. The giant turtle is riding low in the water, but is still sort of floating. There's enough, air in it that it's still floating.
I'll get out and push it.
Yeah, Thurgus, with physics of the water walking spell and then the weight in the water, Balmut, Son, and Thurgus, with Bukerbeck also helping in, can easily push this raft of death. The weeds also help a little bit. They do get tangled a little bit, but you are able to effectively push back after about, we'll say,
We'll probably make a pit stop and pick up the other hag, right?
a half an hour.
I think we ought to be able to drag that body up and bring it over, I think.
Yeah.
Unless it's sunk all the way down.
It died near the top, and it's floating around down there. Let's see. Do any of you have any way of fishing it out?
I have water breathing, so I can just swim down and grab it. And
You were not included in the water walk?
correct.
Okay,
yeah.
So you bravely go into the water, avoiding the odd eel here and there, and then you kind of dip into the water. The cool water enters your lungs as you're down there, and you end up kind of fishing the body of the hag to the surface. Professor, what are you doing during all this?
I'm gonna observe. I'll keep an eye on everything.
Your Draugr disappear, and then what else? These tentacles eventually disappear as they are illusory, and then Zephyros, so you're on a 100-foot cliff overlooking the lily pad swamp.
Do I still have any of my fly left, or was it just completely used up to get here?
I think it was used up to get here.
Okay, so Zephyros he's just going to make sure that he keeps moving to a point where he can see the party.
Yep.
Sort of try be in range in case they get attacked again. So I'm assuming that if they're moving that way, then Zephyros will probably move in this direction. He probably won't be able to go much further.
Yeah,
than that.
actually, I drew this too far, so this is kind of what the lily pad swamp looks like, but the cliff goes all the way this way, and then you could walk back into the city to go down into the sewer drain to get to where the party is. So you basically appeared, had a look, and then this big spot here is where the lily pad is actually clear, and
Okay.
there are old tracks that kind of like go careening off the edge where the Direption had been literally driven at full speed off of the cliff into the water.
So they're about 300 away from me. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna do what I can to get them within range, so that if they get attacked, I can just support them with some long-range artillery fire.
Okay, so you're basically playing Overwatch right now. Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'll fly up and talk to Zephyros. Hey,
Okay.
you missed one hell of a battle, Zephyros. We missed your fireballs, but made do.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I don't think the fireballs would have been much use under all this water, but I could have transformed it into some other energy type. I think electricity might have been very useful.
Yes, I would have been quite curious to see a lightning bolt's effect on all creatures underneath the waves, but perhaps another.
It's unfortunate that opportunity has passed us by. I think as a scholar, you could have gotten much out of that research.
Yes.
I ate lots of garbage this morning.
Ooh.
What kind of garbage?
The garbage you fed me from the forge. All the
No, but I
stuff.
mean, what kind of garbage did you like most? We should find you more of that.
It's all good.
Yes, but none of it's for keeping, which is the good part, right?
Right. It's for eating.
It's for eating. Is there anything for eating over here, Professor?
Oh, perhaps. Mostly for keeping, I think. You should really find a way down quickly. I fear my fly spell is running out. I think we'll be down here for a while, though.
Maybe you can take Markernum with you.
Come on down. The water's fine. Well, what I think it is, I don't know. I can't feel it. But, like, you guys should come on down.
Do you have a feather fall or another fly, perhaps?
You could also just walk down.
Yes, there's also the pathway back that way. You'll see the carriage parked in front of the sewer entrance.
I don't mind the walk. Do you think you might want to take Markernum so he can explore with you? Or is he too heavy for you?
He's a bit heavy for me, I'm afraid. My bones aren't what they used to be.
Oh, don't worry, Professor. I'll stay with Zephyros. I'm comfy up here anyways.
All right. We'll walk there. I'll catch you over there. No rush.
No, see you soon.
Okay. You walk down the tracks. Whoa. You got about halfway, and you can see that there's a corpse lying in the tracks.
Do I know if they see the corpse or whether it's something that they killed?
No, when you walked over here, the tracks were clear, and now you're turning to walk back, and it's like 150 feet away. There's a corpse.
Do I know what kind of corpse it is?
It looks humanoid. There is a small swarm of flies around it.
What is the pose of said corpse? Is it on the ground?
The corpse looks like it's it looks like somebody ran up to the tracks, fell down, and then cracked their neck open, or like off to the side. Like the head is kind of twisted off the side. Like when it fell, it didn't put its hands out, and it just kind of broke its neck on the other track on the other side. Like it tripped on one side of the tracks and broke its neck on the other.
So a very unnatural death.
Yeah. It also looks pretty rotten.
So it's not fresh, but how did I miss it when I came here?
This happened like minutes ago.
Ooh. Guys, I look up to see how far they are from me, and I'm starting to wave, telling them to come take a look here.
Okay.
Can I see them where I am?
Yeah, you could walk to the cliff edge. You kind of leave the tracks a little bit, and you look down. They're all futzing around. They're walking along the water and kind of like pushing this gigantic turtle.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go to the side of the cliff, and I'm just gonna go. Hey guys, we're not alone up here. Something just killed something that's already dead.
Oh, yes, be careful about that. Quite a bit of undead around this morning. More than usual, I'm afraid.
Right. This is a fresh kill. Not long ago.
Are you asking for help? Do I get to go hit stuff?
I think you might.
I will like abandon this fucking turtle in the middle of just start hoofing it up.
All right, so Thurgus starts running. He runs up the side and runs up the stairs. He's in the street, and then he goes and finds the old train tracks. They basically go down the alleyway with two buildings, and he's running down the train tracks. Yep, there's something in the train tracks. You can see Zephyros kind of standing there waiting, and eventually you run over, and oh yeah, it's a stinky waterlogged corpse that looked like it broke itself on the train tracks.
I look at Zephyros, and I look at the old man, and I say,
Rule number 1, double tap.
and I smack it.
All right, well,
if that's rule number 1, I don't want to know what rule number 2 is.
You take out your sword, and yeah, when you approached, its head was still moving. Its jaw was still kind of still moving, and its eye was its remaining eye. One of them got squished or kind of cracked out of the skull. Yeah, you go over and
Yeah, sorry, buddy, but that's not okay.
stick your adamantine blade like butter through the skull. It stops moving after that. It smells bad. It's not as bad as you expect. It's like it may have been caught in the rain. It's definitely showing signs of rot, like it's been rotting for some time.
I will just cast Great Water and just kind of like rinse off the sword a little bit before I hook it over the back again.
Yep.
Rule number 2 is always clean your dishes before you put them in the sink.
And then I start going back.
Well, I'm not going to argue with that. He wasn't bothered.
Do we have to remember these rules?
No, he said he didn't want to know, but like rule number 2 is actually pretty decent.
What if I ate the dishes?
And then that's rule number 2. You cleaned up after yourself.
Oh, okay. Macronome seems relieved. Are you going to continue to be Overwatch, or are you going to walk back with Thurgus?
I'm going to walk back with him. If he's not worried, I'm
It
not
just
worried.
looked like this thing shambled into the tracks and fell over.
Yeah, if he's not worried, I'm not worried.
Okay.
I was concerned that this might be something that they hadn't encountered today, but if he's not too worried about it, then that
Can I make a survival check to know where it came from? Like where it might have sauntered out from?
Sure.
Would this be to track or just a straight survival check?
Survival to track, yep.
Okay. 35.
Yeah, you actually see the tracks. It kind of was shambolic in its gait, and it goes down off the slight rise in the land where the train tracks go and leads into the outskirts of the city.
I sort of point them out to the people that are still there and say,
If we want to know where this one came from, we can follow it back. But I've got a feeling we want to deal with that train first.
and at that point I'll kind of leave it up to the party and let them know, like, if we want to take this route, we can.
Okay. Squeezing down steps that lead into the entrance of a storm sewer. You can see that they must have fought a bunch of giant frogs, as there are corpses of frogs floating in the water and bits of them along the sides. You can see Son, Bukerbek, and Balamut are pushing a giant turtle carcass into the sewer drain and kind of lashing ropes to it. And then they've taken 3 bodies of hags and lined them up just inside the storm sewer drain. There are a lot of baskets and ropes and things that suggest that the neighborhood uses this area to do laundry. Not on this day, however. There are lots of little frogs around. Macronome's eyeing the little frogs that are kind of scattering along the sides as you guys are stepping through. Most of them have cleared out, but for Zephyros, it's just lots of frogs.
Let's see what they're carrying. And if they've got any of those coins. Be careful, those coins are bad.
Okay.
You want me to search them?
Yeah.
Perhaps to avoid any contamination, we should let something a little less, little more expendable. I'll say that and cast Unseen Servant. You, sir, please assist us with unburdening these madams of their possessions.
Zephyros will cast Mage Hand and also use Mage Hand to get in there a little bit.
Okay. You get excited when your mage hand isn't able to lift some of the items.
That's a good sign.
Good point.
The things that are radiating significant magic is the pronged spear that Yavika was carrying. She also had a headband around her head. She had this weird druidic fetish, which Pixel recognizes as a powerful item connected to the patron of water. Apparently all the magic was on her. Yavika had... she also had bracers. The other 2 hags, one of them had a beautiful string of small pink pearls, and the other one had at its side a bag of scrimshaw carvings of leeches and lampreys.
As we pull this stuff off, can I just use identify from the monocle of perusal to identify what it is as it comes off, or does that take like too long?
No, it's like 3 rounds per item kind of thing. Let's see.
I can do 3 of these per day on command.
I'm trying to figure out the highest DC of these items. This is probably a 9th level item, so the highest DC is 27.
Oh, 3 rounds per level, sorry.
What's your min? What's your take 10 spellcraft with an identify?
It's pretty high without identify. It is 19 plus 10, 29. Identify adds plus 10, 39.
Okay. So here are the items you are able to grab from the hags.
Nice. Very nice.
The pronged spear is a +2 shock long spear. It's special in that it does both piercing and slashing damage. Otherwise, it's treated like a long spear. The Bracers of the Deep are Bracers of Armor +4 with +5 competence bonus on swim checks. The Brow of Watery Wisdom is a headband of Inspired Wisdom +2, and the wearer can speak, read, and understand Aquan. And Yavika's Druidic Fetish of the Water Patron allows the Hag's bonded coven to form bonds with animals as per animal companion at half the effective levels of the primary hag with that ability.
Ooh.
It also allows a witch to prepare water patron spells of the appropriate level in addition to her normal patron spells.
That's a cool.
So by using this fetish each morning, Pharisee, you could basically steal the powers of water.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is anybody else a wisdom caster, or is it just me and Boo Quebec and Son?
I have never been one to be mistaken for a wise one, admittedly.
Oh, well, I've got a lot of that wisdom and stuff, so I could put it to use, unless there's somebody that could get a lot more use out of it than me.
I'm fine with it. I'm looking more for the intellectual headbands myself.
Is anybody going to use that spear?
I don't think I will be again, unless I decide to take up fishing in my old age.
I am not going to be able to use it.
Yeah. The advantage of that item is that it's simple.
Oh yeah, it's simple and it has reach.
Yep.
So Zephyros couldn't use spell combat, but Zephyros could use spell strike with it at reach, right?
Yeah, it is not made for his hands, though. It is too thin and too short for his large form.
I see.
Really, the only 3 people I think that can use it effectively, 4, would be the Professor, Bucher, Bexon, and Thurgus.
It's up to you guys. I don't have a particular preference.
Oh, I won't have much use for it. I'm past the days of brawn and might.
If you could use it, Thurgus.
Yeah, I don't have a
Good
reach
on you.
weapon, actually. I'm not used to poking things from not being in their faces.
And like
Well, I have to say, I enjoyed how you killed that undead creature, so maybe this is something you can use similar.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
I'll put that on Thurgus' sheet. The warrior likes weapons. Go figure. Awesome. Yeah, San just looks like he's not interested in dividing this now. There's also some spell components in the pouches of these spellcasters, things that you could reuse for your own spell casting.
While this is going on and they're doing all of this, Zephyros is sort of just mumbling about how he saw the undead creature up there, and Thurgus just walked up, didn't even inspect it, just killed it, and was like, "Let's go."
Yes, we know that we hit one with the wagon on the way here.
That's right.
I don't think that was the one you just
Wait.
killed. Oh, sorry, I have to say it again. I don't think that was the one you just killed.
No.
This one was a fresh undead, if there's such a thing.
We saw one in the alley too.
It's a group, I believe. Having a snack of some kind.
What did I miss by not coming out with you guys?
It seems the undead are quite active this morning. I fear that a later stage of the blood plague seems to be arising from the dead.
So it seems.
There is something curious about those silver coins. We found one in the stomach of your goat horn.
True. True.
Yes, we should really finish our search of the Direption. I'd also like to investigate some of those huts over there. There may be more valuables.
I
I'm curious why they drove a train all the way off the edge. If they wanted to use the coins to spread the plague,
What if
why drop it?
someone knew there was plague on it and they was like, oh, let's bury it in the water. No one will ever get it there. And then someone showed up and it was like, oh, I got these coins. I must spread them around.
These hags don't seem to be fond of the queen.
Maybe it wasn't even malicious. Maybe there was like some peasants who just found some coins and was like, I must spend a whole bunch of money, not knowing that they was diseased.
I think
That
that
just
is the
seems
case.
too coincidental for my liking. I don't think anything we've come across so far suggests coincidental.
Yes,
I mean, it would be funny, but
You're right. So maybe they got the coins, they put them on a train, they pushed the train into the water so that people was going to go into the train thinking, I wonder what's on the train, must be really important. So then they go into the water, they get the coins, they spend them in town, and then nobody knows who diseased the coins because you can't follow it.
it is a convoluted but plausible plot.
that seems more plausible than coincidence.
Remember
Or
our,
maybe
remember our lieutenant friend said that there were lots of people diving here. This is the source of the coins.
Well, our only way to find out is to investigate. We should
At
be on
least
with it.
one of the sources. I have seen these coins before. Quite a few of them have flown through the coffers of the Vault of Commerce.
Yeah, it does make sense. If you want to infect a whole city, you may as well start spreading it at multiple points. Faster that way.
It could also be that there's something in the coincidental theory. That somehow somebody was trying to derail the plans. And yet, even the derailing of the plans failed.
Yeah, perhaps. Perhaps this was a shipment of the coins that were to be distributed elsewhere, and it just happened to crash. Or perhaps, like Thurgus suggested, it was buried here to keep it away from people. But
I feel like it was pretty effectively derailed. And he like points at the train and like laughs at his own joke.
Yes,
think
it is. Someone intended to put the old train out here.
Yes, but now the question is, I know this is perhaps a little too materialistic, but can we get these coins cleaned up and use them somehow?
yes,
It seems they fade a bit over time.
We could take Mokranum underwater and have him like keep them all for keeping or something like that, right? And then clean them later.
he does get sick if you put things contaminated with the blood veil inside him, I'm afraid.
Oh, right.
Well, let's go see what's down there and see if there's any evidence.
So is anybody going to wear this headband?
I believe you are.
All right, then.
I very much like my headband.
It's a
I'll
temporary
take
bonus.
this fetish, though.
I already put the fetish on your character sheet. It's under slot
Yeah,
list.
that makes sense.
It's a temporary bonus for the first 24 hours, right?
Yep.
Okay. So that affects skill checks and whatnot, but not abilities or things per day or spell slots or anything like that.
No, but the understand, speak, read, Aquan
Oh,
kicks in
right.
right away.
And I would get +1 to perception and whatnot.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I will lead the marching order into the water if people are cool with it. Because we still have hours of water breathing, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I think Bukrabek is going to cast water breathing on Makranam and Zephyros now that they've arrived.
The crawling hand's gonna go back inside the flesh bag.
Okay, your crawling
Thank
hand.
you, Bookerbeck, I think.
I'll put light on. Oh, actually, I'm a little bit. We saw the spear in water, right? Like, I don't have any reason to think that a shock spear in water is going to be a problem or something.
Nope. You can
Okay.
also try it out. There's plenty of little frogs, and it zaps, but it zaps in the vicinity of the business end of the
Okay.
spear.
I'll put light on the end of that spear.
It's not like the Pathfinder Kingmaker weapons where it's like, why is the fiery on the shaft of the spear? It should be at the top. Yeah.
Oh, my hands!
You might be able to like add a circumstance bonus to fish with this spear if you had to.
I just want to make sure I'm not going to get electrocuted walking down into the water.
Nope.
Okay, cool. Then I'll cast light on the tip of the spear, and I will just march down. I'm going to let myself sink. I'm pretty heavily plated, so I'm just going to walk down there.
Okay. Are you guys getting rid of the water walk?
I would like.
Yeah, that
Okay.
probably makes
San
sense.
finally snaps his fingers and dismisses the water walk, which means that Bahamut kind of crashes into the water. Sorry, Bahamut.
No, I just want to say, at this point, I'm really happy about my character sheet because I've got a +11 swim.
Nice.
Nice.
I've got +10.
Oh god, I gotta check what mine is. It's not gonna be good.
San and Bahamut are
I
a
have
little bit.
+0.
San and Bahamut are a little bit injured. They're going to stay here to watch the corpses and just keep watch for the party.
Honestly, bows are not super effective underwater, so I don't blame him.
How deep?
Bukrabek is swimming. He can swim. How deep?
Yeah.
The Direption is in 30 feet of water.
Okay. The unseen servant can't swim, but it can walk on water. I suppose I will. There's nothing around that would like float other than this giant turtle, right?
We've got the door.
You got the door. The door might float. There are some baskets and like half barrels here that might, like a washing basin that might float.
It would float, and the professor could sit inside.
Let's see. 3, it's big enough for you to sit inside.
I can just imagine. I can just imagine.
So it's a big wash
barrel.
tub, and you're like, huh? And you put the wash tub in the water, and you're gonna climb into the wash tub.
Yeah, the unseen servant's going to get in there too, and I will get a board or something like that from around here and command him to row me about.
Okay.
Onward, gentlemen and lady!
The unseen servant is slowly rowing the professor towards. You take a little bit of a ride, like it might be DC 12 swim checks because there's a bit of flow here, but once you're out in the swamp, it's like DC 10 swim checks. You can also take 10. So as long as you don't have a minus to your swim, then you're good.
Nat 20 on taking it for its first spin.
Okay.
We're really just cruising in and out. It's like this thing was made for this.
All right.
While we're going out, Zephyros is going to ask the party on feedback about what they encountered in the water so that he knows if he has to cast spells or something like that, should it be electricity, should it be acid, should it be, whatever the case may be, just to ask for some advice because he hasn't seen any of the fighting here.
It was a bunch of nasty leeches. Don't let them suck your blood. They seem really terrible.
And shock them, I'm guessing.
I would say
You do see like an 8-foot giant pike that's dead. It's on its side, and you can see a bunch of leeches all kind of feasting on the corpse. Most of you, it sounds like, are swimming or are near the top of the water. Thurgus, you're walking along the bottom.
I can swim. I'll
Okay.
stay with the group. My intent is to try and be as close or in front as possible. So if the professor's on top, then I would probably try and swim below him, just so that if there's anything that comes out of the boat, I would intercept it.
Okay.
Yeah, the same for Zephyros, because he's not struggling as a swimmer either.
There is a horrifying scene that is a horrifying scene with the professor. The professor is in his little rowboat with the unseen servant, his makeshift rowboat, actually doing the paddling. And then once Makronom saw that, he turned into a smaller basin that has two little tentacle paddles, and they're like little eyes that are coming out of it, and he's paddling along behind you, going ha 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 ha. Yeah, there's he could turn into any container, so I guess he could turn into little boats. Because technically, if you think of it, a boat is kind of a container.
You should let him store a folding boat for keeping for himself.
he catches up to the professor, kind of bumps into him, a little tentacle comes over and latches over on your side.
Ahoy there, sir!
Ah, yes. Wait a second. Can you be both the boat and the captain?
No, that is a question.
Oh, I am the captain of my own boat, and I am the boat.
Master and commander indeed.
Oh, yeah. Whatever that means.
Well, we've arrived.
Speaking of containers, there's a big container down below if you guys haven't seen it.
Yes, the Direption.
Indeed.
Oh.
Well, who wants to have a look?
I'll go. I love going first.
I'll follow you. I'll cast invisibility on myself and dive in.
Okay.
Do you use mage armor?
I do have mage armor, yeah.
The bracers of the deep are +4 and +5 competence to swim. So if nobody's wearing them, like someone should at least take advantage of the +5.
Someone should. Yeah, I would happily wear them.
Yeah, you should do that. Because +5 is a big deal.
Zephyros is going to leave the door floating on the water here near Markana,
Okay.
and then Zephyros is going to dive down as well.
All right.
He's got water breathing because it was cast on him by...
Yep, you guys dive / sink down. Pharisee underwater, you can see her a bit easier as she's flowing through the water because she's displacing the water a little bit. Same effects of invisibility, but it might be easier to actually spot as some of the detritus and dirt and particles in the water are kind of spreading around Pharisee as she's diving. I think Pixel's going to stay up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Although Pixel does have water breathing on her.
Okay.
But it also makes sense for her to stay up.
Okay, yeah, she's just going to land on the door.
How does being underwater with water breathing affect our ability to cast spells?
It's a good question, Zephyros. You could either do this the theoretical way, or you could do this the scientific way.
How does it work in the Martyverse?
Zephyros, as water is filling your lungs, and you can feel this cold, in your chest, and it's filling your trunk, and it feels really weird. You almost want to sneeze, but the magic takes hold, and you're fine. The water tastes like you could sense the tiny bit of fresh dirt and fresh plant life. Like it actually smells earthy in a clean way. You're pretty sure you could still speak. Are you going to try casting a spell, or are you going to think about with spellcraft or how spellcasting works underwater?
I'm going to try and cast Mage Hand and see if I can use Mage Hand down there just to test my ability to cast spells.
Yeah, your voice sounds different as you are forcing water out of your face instead of air, but you are able to cast Mage Armor, or Mage Hand.
Okay, cool. I'm going to use the Mage Hand to just dig around whatever I see and
Okay.
See if I can find anything magic
Well,
or anything.
the thing that is open right now, and it's this crudely drawn square, is the side, like a side door has been kind of pulled open. That leads into a chamber inside the old school steam engine. You're like in the chamber behind where the conductor sits. You do see that there's a bit of grayish dirt in the water, kind of like as you're displacing the water a little bit, like a weird bit of grayish dirt is rising up. You're not too sure what that is.
I'll poke it.
Okay, so you poke through the dirt. Everyone's now tasting a little bit of ash or coal in their mouths.
The Direption's coal-fired. Direption's coal-fired.
Yeah, you guys can talk.
The Direption is a coal train. Coal power.
Do we think that there are any secret doors around here anywhere?
There's probably a rune, like on the train we took, the ether rail, that protects it, and silvering around it.
Because I can cast detect secret doors if I need to.
Maybe we should save that for when we're ready to leave and we feel like we've exhausted all of our options.
All right, just putting it out there so that you guys are aware.
No,
I came prepared.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Wonderful.
Do you need perception checks from us, Marty, or anything? Because we're just gonna like.
No, it's DC 10. Like the water isn't moving out here, so it's DC 10. You're not being attacked as long as you can make. You could take 10 and get 10. You guys can swim, and you're not worried about holding your breath. So.
Yeah, I was asking about perception checks. Like, do you need those from us? Because we're gonna just start searching. Like, I'm gonna go indoors and just
Sure.
start.
Okay. So you start poking around. It sounds like.
Yeah.
And we're going to be very thorough here. We're going to take our time, be thorough.
Okay. So Thurgus, you use your spear. You kind of poke inside, and yeah, you do see that there are like at the back of the chamber that you're looking inside of. It does look like there's a like a small door that leads into a furnace of sorts, and there's a lot of like the coal particles and coal that is visible at the bottom. There is a door that is somewhat open. The hinges are now along the roof of the sideways of the sideways chamber. That door leads into what is a very foggy or very murky conductor's compartment. And then there is a little hallway that... No, I guess it would be the engine. So there's an outside area that you could walk along if this thing was upright. And the majority of this looks like either machinery or compartments to hold more coal.
Okay. For context, when you do that perception check and you roll it in chat, that does not include Good Hope. Is that correct?
Nope.
Okay. And then mine is currently one higher because temporary wisdom bonus.
Nice.
I'm going to be looking around for like crates or chests or other compartments. I'm not super concerned with any coal. I'm more looking for like, are there other train cars or is it just like the front?
It's just the engine.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
The only other chamber you see in there, aside from you see a shovel, like it's been in the water for some time. It looks old. Is the conductor's chamber. The door is unlocked and somewhat ajar.
I'll move into the conductor's chamber just to see if there's any like I don't know. I'd be looking for like maybe scroll tubes or like I don't know if I don't think trains keep a black box or like anything that might potentially be waterproofed. That would give indication of like logs.
The metal door, which was tall and thin, is now long and not very wide, and the hinges along the top, and you kind of like kind of push it open like a flap, and you look in. Oh, there's a bad taste in the water. It tastes like something rotten.
I'll poke around. Well, I have light, right? So I'm gonna use like a spear
you
to
push
kind of,
your spear in, and you jump a little bit as you seem to have poked something that when it sort of was floating around in there, and it is a heavily fish-eaten rotten corpse in robes. It was once a man, is floating around in the conductor's.
Do I get any sense that it's undead, or does it just look decomposed?
At first, it was kind of like one of those, jumping cat gags
Horror
from
movie
a
scare
horror movie.
moments?
Yeah, exactly.
Ah.
Kind of. Nah, he doesn't look like he's undead.
I'll try and if because you said the front of the spear was kind of hooked and bladed, right?
Yeah, it's like two prongs.
Yeah, I'll try and hook it and pull it out through the flap to try and pass it backwards if they want to detect magic or anything like that.
Yeah, a lot of the icky taste is coming off of this corpse that you guys are kind of moving. It's been in the water for a long while, and bits of it are coming off as you're trying to bring it into there. The most of it ends up in the chamber with the coal, or where you feed the coal. Now that you've kicked up stuff, there's lots of particles in the air. Are you going to go back in to continue searching the conductors?
Yeah, my intent is if it had robes on it or something like that, if those are magical.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'll go in with you, Thurgus, because I can see through murky water.
And Zephyros is not going to go in. He's going to just give them backup, but he's going to cast dancing lights and send that in as well.
Okay, the place is lit up really well. Yeah, it's easier to see. Thurgus is feeling around and he's doing a good job at it, but with your Merc sight, when he opens that flap again, which is the door into the conductor's area, you can see some broken windows, like the plunge into the water might have broken some of the windows. A few fish darting here and there, and you do see something that is out of place for a train. It is a metal box about the size of a bread box, maybe a couple feet by a foot. The metal box looks like somebody cast it to have, I don't know, a bunch of stylized, a bunch of twisted bodies and skulls kind of peeled out of their skin. It looks like it's some sort of devilish or demonic treasure chest. It is closed, and it does look like it has a grim lock on it.
I'll make sure that I point it out to Thurgus here. That chest there, that's the evil chest.
I can get 8 cubic feet of per cast of purify food and drink. Do I feel like I could use that to clean up some of the water to make it less murky?
Yeah, you could make the flesh of the man into fresh food.
I'm just trying to clean up my
right?
you do water with it. Maybe I could clean up some of the water just so that I can see through it.
There's definitely a change in the taste of the water.
Okay. I mean, that's nice in and of itself. I'm really just trying to see if I can get to the chest.
You kind of cleared up a little bit, but yeah, you could definitely reach into the chest and you see it now that you're practically standing on top of it.
Okay. I'll try and pull it out. I'm not gonna.
Okay. The chest is cold to the touch, colder than the rest of the metal that you've touched inside of here.
Oh, fuck, that's cold.
And it feels wrong.
This is bad. This is a bad thing. I think
I'll
we need
detect magic on it.
Sorry, what was that?
I'll detect magic.
There is a moderate necromancy coming from the box.
The chest itself is covered with undeath. Dark magics.
Right, well, I think we found the thing. So
It's heavy, and you also kind of, when you pick it up and move it, you do feel like things clinking inside. And the thing might actually be sealed, like it might actually be watertight.
Oh, okay.
maybe we should keep this closed for now until we can purify it or something.
You may want to drag it up with a rope too, instead of by hand.
He says as Thurgus is carrying it.
Right.
It has two
You
handles,
may
like your
do-
clawed hands fit into
Yeah.
either side. It is like a
Fair
coffer.
enough.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll carry it out.
If you've already touched it, I suppose it's fine.
It's fine. I feel
I'm gonna
great.
look around for one of those runes that protects this card. See if that's there, or if it's been disturbed, or whatever. Because there ought to be one.
There ought to be one.
Interesting. Okay. Give me another perception roll. I'll let you roll it.
I mean, it's an old model, though, guys. This was the oldest one in the fleet.
Let's take a look.
Is it?
This was at a time, yeah. It was the last steam engine that was in their fleet. DC
31.
30. You feel around. You could see Farisay feeling around along the floor, and then she's like, "There it is. There's the line." And she follows this weird little kind of silvery line to a compartment. This one looks like it needs. This one actually just has a key, a lock on it that built into it. It doesn't look like it's been opened. It's a little bit rusty. But you do see a compartment that you're like, yeah, the tracery runs here. They protected this train against.
Hey, Thurgus, can you cast open lock on this with your sword?
Oh, absolutely. But do you care what's on the other side?
I do. Yes. If you could
I
just
will
pry the lid
Our
off.
best.
I'll put the spear over, and I'll take the greatsword out,
Yep.
and I'm just gonna push. Like I'm just gonna apply pressure and try and like pop it.
You guys, you take 20 on the lock basically, and kind of like slowly push it in, wiggle it in, and try to pop. And eventually, your adamantine greatsword has enough leverage and cuts through the metal quite nicely, and you're able to pop it open. It doesn't look like the chamber is very deep. You can see some complicated tracings of silver, and then there is a weird stone at the center, like the center of a flower.
I'm gonna take some time to study this and figure out if it can be removed without damaging it.
Okay. Spellcraft?
Sure.
While all this is going on, I'm gonna have the unseen servant row me like up and down the Direption, and I'll cast detect magic into the water to sort of scan this thing from bow to stern.
Okay.
And Zephyros is nearby, so I'm guessing Zephyros and Farisay can talk about what she's seeing, and Zephyros may be able to assist in
sure.
spellcraft.
The robes on the rotten corpse are radiating magic. And then you see something, Henry, that they may have missed, is that in one of the windows, like the guy's head hit one of the windows and then snapped back and left his mask there, you see a plague doctor's mask that has beaked its way through one of the windows of the train,
Through the safety glass.
and it is radiating magic as well.
I will cast a dancing light into a vaguely humanoid form down there and use it to like indicate and point at the magical things till I see them notice and pick them
There's
up.
a weird ghost pointing at the thing in the window.
You guys, I think the blood bear wants to tell me something.
How far is that away from
Oh
Zephyros?
my god.
It's like right here,
Oh, okay.
so you can go over and fish it out.
Zephyros will go over there and fish it out.
Yeah, it's a plague doctor's mask. It's a slightly different style, but it's definitely kind of big, too big goggle like holes, and then a very beaked bird like mask made out of fine leather. It seems to have survived its time down in the water quite fine.
Interesting. Zephyros will grab it, and then he will go back to the entryway so that you can talk to Farisay.
Okay.
The ghost will move over and point at the robes on the ground.
Pharisee, with your 33, yeah, you could just take it out. The problem with it is that the crash may have damaged this stone. It's broken. If you like,
Sure.
it will need to be repaired.
I'll definitely take it out because
Okay.
it's a powerful piece of magic against the foes that we know we have. So
Yep.
Uh,
So
The ghost.
a broken wardstone.
I'll put it onto the gear and treasure area.
Pharisee, with your 33, this could also be worked to protect a building. It doesn't have to be a train.
Security for the Villa Malavella.
Yeah, that thought had crossed my mind.
That would be sweet, dude.
Or the Ironpine Residence if we want to relocate into town.
Yep,
Yeah.
and you do know somebody who can work metal, and he's floating right above you playing with a doctor's mask. Like, you would have to put the tracing around everywhere you wanted to protect it, and there would be some volume of protection that you could do, but yeah.
Zephyros, let me point out the way that the tracing works here, and together we might be able to apply this to a room or a vehicle that we have someday.
Yeah.
If we can fix the stone itself.
Zephyros sort of points out the artistic nature of the way that it was done. Can you see there's some symmetry there? It's definitely a plan.
Delightful. It's well crafted, isn't it?
It's very well crafted. Very well crafted.
Okay. The straps that were holding the box down that kind of broke, and some of the... You think there may have been more of these boxes at one time in here.
That makes sense. Because we know that some coins have made their way out. Yeah.
You're guessing by the size of the straps and the kind of like the strap bag that it was in, that there may have been one or two more of these boxes. Only one is found in the Direption, however. And that's Thurgus's crazy survival check that tells him that.
Nice.
Like, somebody went and cut freed the two other boxes out of their entanglement.
Right.
How many trains, cars are there down here?
It is just the engine.
Just the engine.
Yep.
There's no indication of what happened to the other cars?
I think this one may never have had other cars.
Yeah, they might have just detached it when they ran it off the city. Or it might be somewhere else in the swamp.
So
it's like an old engine.
When we were on the train before, I think it was the conductor or somebody mentioned that there was a train that was lost once. Do we know if this is that train?
Was it this
one? Yeah, it was this one.
Okay.
The ghost is starting to gesture more emphatically over by the remains of the corpse guy.
Zephyros will...
Oh, you guys, I think it wants me to wear this dress.
And he starts to put on the robes.
It's too small.
And he just starts talking to the lights.
What do you want from me?
All right. Pharisee, with your 27, you also notice that there's a thing that has a minor enchantment. It is this curious looking handle with a kind of a crystallized gem on it.
Oh, right. The control console for driving it.
This particular lever, you think, is the key to the gate.
Oh, right. Of course. Oh, we're going to take that.
Okay, so you go and try to grab it, and it's still affixed, like it is a lever, and you actually just need the rod with the crystal at the end of it, but it's been affixed to the console.
I'll start trying to disassemble things and just play around with it like a Fey.
Do you have any disabled device?
I do not.
Knowledge engineering?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. this is pretty much like, let's unscrew the bolts and
Yeah.
yeah.
I have a traveler's any tool if you want to use it.
Nice. So there's a tool that you hand to her, and then she looks at it, and it turns into the right size wrench, and you start taking the console apart.
I'm trying to see if I also have one of those. I don't. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Okay, so give me a knowledge engineering with a +2 because of the tool.
Got it.
And then I don't know if Thurgus is helping by just strunking his way.
If I can use strength, I don't have either of those knowledge skill. I don't have disabled device or knowledge. But
yeah,
if
we'll say Thurgus is strategically using the any tool that is called the greatsword, the adamantine magical greatsword, and he just he pries open the console and rips it open. You're like, thanks, and now you're undoing things. And a 37, you are able to basically unhinge the thing. It is in good condition, and you now have a gate key to Grand Station.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's awesome. Good
As
find.
in the pearl that Grand Station is in.
That's exciting. This thing had some cool little magic items on it.
Nice.
I hate to say it again, but remember, if we think there's a secret door somewhere, we can look.
I think that was probably the time to do that.
Give it a try.
Yeah, we found everything else.
All right. The secret door in my mind, when you had mentioned it, I'm like, yeah, they'll find the wardstone this way. It's an old-timey thing. Old-timey things tend to be custom built. I'm going to say there's a 1 in 3 chance you find a little hidey hole that the conductor may have put stuff in a long time ago. So if you roll a 3 on a D3, you find a magic item or treasure or something.
I do not.
You find the hidey hole. It's like a little kind of glove compartment, if you will, for the conductor. You open it up, and there's just a bunch of water-soaked documents that didn't quite survive you grabbing at them.
Well, it was worth the look.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so
I'm going to go take a look at the ropes that the professor is so eagerly pointing out to us.
Oh,
Yes.
is that his?
and I'll point at the lights,
I think it was
Yes.
his.
and I'll hand him the the robes.
Okay, you guys gather the things and begin to move to the surface of the water. Did you find anything? Bookerbeck's just treading water easily. Makernam and the weird pixels on the door. Makernam's kind of bobbing in the water beside the wash tub.
Oh,
Yeah,
is there
we found a
anything?
rock and a stick and some clothes.
Oh, anything for eating?
Well, there's that corpse over there. Unfortunately, that's about as good as we did.
Oh,
If it makes you feel any better, Thurgus made him taste better.
It wasn't really my intent, but it's true.
The rule of unintended consequences. This is the second time I believe it's biting us in the butt.
okay. So you want me to eat the body?
No, I'm saying you can eat the body if you want. I wouldn't want to, but I don't know what you like eating.
But is it for keeping or for eating?
Not for keeping.
Okay, so it's for eating then.
If you want to eat it, it's for eating.
Oh,
But I don't want you to get sick.
Makranam,
yeah.
could you keep this wardstone for me?
Oh, yeah, certainly.
He paddles eagerly over to you in the water.
Ah!
Yeah, I will shove it into his waiting maw.
Okay, the lozenge goes down with a big gulp.
Ah!
I will add it to.
There we go. Safe for keeping. What was it?
Of course, he asks now.
It's a wardstone. It's,
Oh, he's so trusting.
the structure from like a train from evil forces from outside.
Oh, does that mean Makernam is safe from evil forces outside?
Well, it's broken at the moment, so no.
Oh, okay.
Well, he is, because he's in our party and we would protect him.
Well,
Yeah,
that's true.
That's
true.
right. It's good to have friends.
Did we find the coins down there?
Oh, you mean this big chest of evil crap?
Yes, that appears to be it. Any indication of why the train went down? I hear the conductor was still on board, and seems a plague doctor as well. Most curious.
Pretty sure his face went through the glass. I don't know if that was before or after the train crashed.
Do you think this mask was from the body? The mask and the robes, same body, so the conductor was...
Oh, you think he was in on it?
I do
Mask and trying to deliver some disease stuff.
Oh, he's got a necklace.
Hmm?
The body there's something shiny on it.
I'll take a look.
Yeah, he's wearing a. You would call it electrum, which is another word for white gold. It is a naturally occurring gold and silver alloy.
Is it engraved with anything? It's got a locket.
Yeah, it is a chain, a good thickness of chain, and it has what looks like a stylized screaming face in anguish, vaguely female, on the end of the chain.
And there was only one body down there. You only tasted one individual.
Oh, is that what we're doing now?
There was a point, was it, I don't know if it was last session or the session before, where they were talking about a Titan from a cult.
Yeah, I wrote this down too. Hecate.
Does this look like it might be like a holy symbol of Hecate or something? As it was described to us?
Knowledge religion or knowledge
I have religion.
planes? Arcana?
I will help you on your religion roll.
I will help you too.
Hey, I didn't do too bad. 21 plus 4, so 25.
Oh, we saw the symbol of Hecate in the basement, in the witch's basement.
Yeah, this is a derivative of this. This is definitely from the cult of the undying breath. It was said that one of these unholy symbols was made in honor of Hecate for each of the witches that were slain and murdered or executed by the victors of the war.
Okay.
They melted down unholy artifacts of Hecate and smelted these unholy symbols. Whether this unholy symbol is from that age or not, you're not sure, but it's definitely in that style. And each one of these screaming faces in anguish represents one of the witches or priestesses of Hecate's religion from long ago. As if they're passing their anguish and anger down to the followers
The
of
next
this
generation
cult.
or something, so like they don't
Yep.
forget.
Yep.
Interesting.
It is white gold, so it's worth like 200 gold pieces if you wanted to sell it.
Okay.
Another clue, it seems. I'm sure the good captain will be very curious from our report. So, if I have this correctly, the train conductor was actually a plague doctor wearing a symbol of Hecate, carrying a shipment of cursed silver, or cursed coins, as it were.
Well, we don't know what's in the chest yet, but I think we have a good idea.
This all sounds true, yes. The This holy symbol, is it magical? And can you pick it up with the hand?
Zephyros tries to pick it up with a hand, the mage hand.
It is an unholy symbol. It is not magical, so the mage hand does manipulate it.
I was shooting for, is it magical? And if not, is it an artifact?
Mm.
Well, we know it's not magical.
Good to know.
Might I
it's-
suggest something?
It's proof.
Yes, Bookerback, what is it?
The body. The body is somewhat beat up, but mostly intact, I think. I could prepare a speak with dead prayer.
Oh,
Excellent.
yes, that would be useful.
It may
I-
not work given the condition of the body, and the conductor may have been a different temperament in life than Bukrabek. But it might be worth a try.
Well, by all means, we won't stop you.
I think very much worth a try. And he has a skull, so perhaps your phrenology may come in handy too.
Ah, yes. It
Oh.
has been a while since I've had occasion to study the art.
Maybe if the professor touches the thing, his eyes will roll in the back of his head again and he'll pass out, but he'll know stuff about it.
Ah, yes. Well,
That could be.
bring it here, I suppose.
Well, not here, you might drown.
As long as I stay in my vessel.
Back on land, then.
Oh,
Shall we move over to the huts that one hag came from? I would like to have a look around there.
we should go boating more often. This
Yes.
is fun.
At this point, we've almost got an armada. I call Admiral, sir.
Okay, Admiral Professor, sir.
Thank you, First Mate.
No, I'm the captain of my own boat, remember?
Yes, Captain, of course.
There's a strange bit of frivolity in the dangerous swamp.
There is always a good measure of frivolity with us.
All right, so we're gonna drag the body ashore and then go check out the huts.
If you all don't mind.
Yeah, all right.
Right. It seems to be a place where a hag's coven are gathered. That interests me.
Okay, so you guys are swimming out into the swamp in search for where the hags came from, or to try to get to the island where there's a bunch of huts.
Yeah, didn't we see the one hag come from there?
She came from that direction. She didn't necessarily come from the huts. The huts are a good mile out.
Oh.
I think then just go in that direction then and see if we can find
Okay.
anything interesting like where she came from.
Are you guys just swimming and looking, or is there any other method that you're searching?
I mean, I can detect magic. The unseen servant rows this boat on his own, so.
Okay.
I can fly above. We're looking for a place that could fit a turtle too, so that would be a relatively large opening, perhaps down below. If
Do
it
we
starts to
know
get too
any-
deep, I'm willing to swim.
Okay.
Do you want to keep Pharisee in the air, keep Thurgus underwater, and keep the professor on the water?
Yeah.
Do we know anything
Cover
about
all
this turtle?
levels.
Do we know what would be in the location that we're looking for? Is there an object that could be in there that we would be aware of?
I think a den of several hags and a coven's home base will be self-evident once we see it.
All right.
Because I can cast locate object and sense the direction of something, but we need to know what we're looking for.
Your strange flotilla of submariners are making their way towards the small hamlet almost of buildings. You get about halfway between the wreck of the Direption and the area when your detect magic professor does pick up something. There is a tiny bit of illusion in a very large swath of the lily pad swamp.
Ah, we've got a hit. I will attempt to go up to it and try and just disbelieve it and see what happens.
Yeah, given that there's nothing threatening you, you play with the illusion, and eventually it fades, and you do see that there's not as much vegetation here as the illusion was trying to mask, and you see an underwater cave.
Ah, there's a cave down here masked with an illusion. I would say this is the spot.
There are signs, Thurgus, once you guys share that there is an illusion here. It was minor, but it might very well be permanent. And it looks like the turtle spends a lot of time eating the plants around here, like the actual foliage or the plant cover is quite trimmed back in the middle.
Can I study the illusion to see if it's emanating from like an item or if it was just like a permanent spell cast?
Yeah, you can give me a spellcraft check.
Right on.
Pixel starts to try to get Pharisee's attention.
Is there a familiar here?
She's bobbing up and down on the water. She's like smacking the water while you were swimming underneath a little bit, and you get to the top of the water.
I sense. I sense water.
Ah, yes.
This is Water's cave.
Yes, excellent. I
think Water's home.
We should be careful, but there's likely a familiar down here.
No, I think Water's down there.
Water, the patron.
It's strong.
Oh my, that is curious.
It's a permanent illusion.
We should be careful. This is a permanent illusion of something covering it up.
Water.
What?
This cave is strong with the patron of water.
So we should be like respectful of the water or something, or should we prepare to fight water?
Both, I think.
Got it. I'll head down to the cave if we're.
How do we fight water?
I think try and talk your way out of it first.
That does not sound like a fight.
Okay. Thurgus, you can hear some murmuring.
Hello, water. Come in peace.
Perhaps, Pharisee, you could do the talking.
I would very much like to.
What language did you say that in?
Orin. Because I have the headband.
Aquan, you mean?
Or Aquan, yeah.
Okay.
It's true.
Because respectful water.
I'll cast, do I have it? Comprehend languages when I hear him muttering in a language I don't know. Oh, what is he doing now?
Your sound bubbles are new. Bring forth your offering.
Right.
That sound comes out of the cave, and it seems like it came out in like bubbles that sort of dribbled out of the cave. Like the bubbles themselves were carrying the words.
I'll swim back up and be like, yeah, it's definitely water, and it's got like bubbles and stuff, and it told me it wants an offering. What should I give it?
Zephyros just bewildered says to Thurgus, "Is this a good time to say I have to pee?"
Then it'll be yellow water.
What should we give him?
I would accept the gift of your water.
I will cast Pagebound Epiphany and ask Knowledge Religion what an appropriate offering to water would be.
Okay.
Good Hope has faded, I'm guessing.
Probably.
He said we got halfway there. That's like half a mile, right?
Yep. Half a mile. Swimming, half a mile. It was a good swim. You're like an hour out.
Okay, so it's knowledge.
You were also searching around, so it didn't feel like you were.
Makes sense.
16 plus 8, 1d20 plus 22. 25.
There is obscure lore. It is local lore, however, that there is a powerful water elemental that dwells in the swamp, and that it guards a something called a planar tap. It has accepted offerings, and you know from your page-bound epiphany that it like a witch patron is, you can commune with it.
I would share my knowledge with it.
Yeah, I'll
The
communicate.
knowledge Echo has. We could also give it. We have a bar of soap that protects from various elements. It might find that amusing.
I don't get any inclination from what I gathered there, like what sort of offerings it's interested in, what like the appropriate one for such a creature is.
Not fire.
Don't give it fire.
Does Pharisee have a headband?
Yes.
Okay. I was gonna say you could wear this one, but you don't want to lose the bonus.
No.
You want me to offer it some soap? What if he gets offended and thinks that I'm telling him that he's dirty or something?
Well, it's magical soap. I don't think it will be offended.
You want me to give him the magical soap?
And tell him that I would have my familiar who speaks with autumn's breath commune with it and share knowledge.
Got it. Here's a bar of soap, and my friend speaks for Autumn. Would totally share some information. 1 second, I'll be right back.
I think that's the best we'll get. Yes.
Back down to the cave.
Okay, Thurgus, you're swimming into the cave.
Okay. Hello.
All right, so the cave. So the bottom of the area, there's sort of a dip, allowing there to be like a sideways opening cave that goes further into the ground. Yeah, you swim down there. There's all sorts of seaweed. You're starting to see like tools and implements and things that the hags may have collected over time. A lot of it's rusty stuff they may have stolen from fisher folk or others. You just get a sense that creatures have lived here. You swim down a little bit further. There are rotting beds of seaweed. They almost look like nests, and lots of bones down here. Little swarm of angry fish. They all kind of came at you, nibbled at you, kind of actually scratched your armor a little bit, and then swam off. You think they might be called piranhas. You continue to swim down. You kind of get the sense that the hags may have gathered around a cauldron, but it's weird that there would be a cauldron under the water, but they did. There is a cauldron at the center of where their kelp seaweed beds were, but the cave does go deeper.
Hello,
and it's kind of an angle like this, like it keeps on going deeper, and you could see every once in a while like a bubble, kind of like trailing up from the depths.
I will address the bubble voice. Hopefully, if it talks back to me, say, "Hello, I brought you some magic items as an offering, but also I've got a friend who speaks for Autumn and would love to share some information with you. But if I don't hear back, I probably got to go back because they're probably wondering where I am by now.
Okay.
And I don't want to dive to like a middle.
When you said go back, you instinctually sort of looked back, and something that you missed coming in, that's an awesome idea, Matt, is the light. Like, you're soon going down into a dark area. Like, it's really dark in this cave. You kind of look back towards light when you said "my friends," and you see stapled to the roof of the cavern, right above the cauldron at the bottom, is another cauldron. And that one seems to be holding pockets of air. Like, there's sort of a reflecting sort of like pocket of air inside that cauldron. You make a mental note that there might be air there.
I will go and inspect the air. Do I think
you'd have to swim back. Like,
would have come from it?
No, well, so there's two cauldrons, one on the roof, one on the ground. You're underwater, and that one's got air in it, and this one has got water in it. But you've already swam past that. You just look back like you're leaving the light and your companions behind.
Got it.
You continue to swim.
Bring me an offering, new bubble.
Do you want me to like drop it down this cave? I have an offering. I don't know where to put it.
Okay, the water starts to churn a little bit in this tunnel.
I'm very sorry.
It's kind of
soap.
it's kind of moving around in a clockwise direction. Now I'll make it Wittershins because it's scarier. And it is now a DC 15 swim check to get out.
Okay. I'm assuming endurance would not apply to this because it's not versus exhausted, right?
Nope.
Okay. All right, and we do not have good hope, so that brings it down to an 8.
Armor check penalty though.
Yeah, I have that calculated.
Okay, the suction of the whirlpool is getting stronger, but you are able to swim back to where the cauldrons were, and it's not as bad here, and you just grab a hold of the lip of one of the cauldrons, and it's heavy enough that you can just hang on to.
Bring me the offering.
I gave you soap.
Oh yeah, the soap. Yeah, it just basically went into the water and
I grab one of my non-magical javelins and just chuck it in the cave.
yeah, it gets caught up in the torrent, and
You didn't even say thank you for the first one.
and I try and leave.
okay, you can
Do
feel
I
that.
have to hold on to this cauldron for dear life, or do I think?
No, but it was getting stronger. You got up to the area where there is still water rushing past you. You're strong enough to swim the rest of the way out, and eventually, Thurgus reaches the top.
I believe diplomacy may have failed.
Oh yes. Could I have heard this down there, or was it too far away?
Yeah, Thurgus, you just kind of threw your offering and ran. Yeah, you didn't. I don't know. You could give me a diplomacy check at +2, maybe.
Oh, I'm totally fine with that. This did not go very well, but I'm very happy with how it went. So diplomacy at +2 is actually diplomacy at +1.
And he's rolling that 20.
Not 20.
Okay.
If that worked.
I'm a very endearing teddy bear.
Yeah. Something to
Very good intentions.
It was great soap.
Very poor.
Hey, the soap is actually pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Cross the soap off the list.
Your offering is accepted.
Oh.
Did you hear that?
It
It said that the offering was accepted.
Wonderful. Perhaps we should go and speak to it patron to patron?
Yes, that would be probably a good idea.
Should I stay out here and tie a rope, and then you have the other end of the rope so that you have a way to come out again?
It's pretty far away.
Do we each have a rope?
Was it more than 100 feet?
It went in pretty deep.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a surprisingly large tunnel.
I've got
That this thing
2
turned
lengths of.
into.
Let me double check loot. I think I have 2 lengths of 50 feet.
100 feet would definitely get you back to where you were.
Okay, yeah, I have 100 feet of silk rope, so we could tie that up to whatever you have.
And I
That's
have
not a bad
50.
idea.
I have 50 feet of silk rope as well.
Gonna take a quick bio break while you guys hatch your scheme to go play with the patron of
So,
water.
Pharisee, you don't speak Aquan, though, which could be a bit of a challenge.
But familiars and patrons, I think, can commune together without the benefit.
And Thurgus speaks Aquan. He can translate.
Yes, I'm very good at being a diplomacator.
Yes,
Diplomancer.
I believe
Very good diplomancer.
that was your second diplomatic mission you've just executed.
And no one died.
1 for 2 so far.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that's right.
Well, let's affix the rope to Pharisee. Good luck down there.
And
Are you staying up here too?
Yes.
I'm staying up here. We tie the one end to the rope to me so that if I swim, the rope comes with me.
Yeah, all right.
That sounds as good a plan as any.
How will I know if I need to swim? How will you let me know?
That's also a great question.
You could leave Pixel up here. She'll know if you're in danger.
I know, but Pixel needs to be able to speak with the.
Yes. Familiar to familiar. Patron to
Yes.
familiar. Yes, of course.
I can bring this fetish down with me too.
I suppose the Icky Mesa could go. But he is a bit injured. I would hesitate to send him down there.
Professor, don't you think what you should do is conjure up that duplicate of you and then you go down there?
It only lasts for a brief moment, unfortunately.
Only a brief moment. How about we set a timer? And if the timer elapses, I start swimming.
Or pull on the rope if you get into trouble. If we sense the rope being jerked about in a crazy fashion, we'll just pull you up.
What happens if there's a whirlpool? Might that not pull the rope?
May you need to get pulled up if there's a whirlpool.
Maybe we just tie the rope between me and Pharisee, and if shit hits the fan, I will make sure she gets out.
And I wait a certain time, and if you guys do not come out, I just swim and pull you out.
Sounds great. I like that plan.
Sure.
How long do I wait?
Oh.
10 minutes? 20 minutes? Half an hour?
Well, I would say, like, at most, half an hour. And if they do some sort of, like, commune thing that takes, like, a ritual or something, I'll just come back and tell you that's what they're doing, and they're totally safe.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
What you can do is you don't need to swim back. 2 tugs on the rope tells me you're fine.
2 tugs. 1, 2.
That tells me you're fine. 30 minutes after the last 2 tugs, I will swim.
Got it.
All right, I'm just going to do a quick break. Be right back.
Yep. All right, you guys are going under. Is that what I'm hearing?
Going under. Thurgus, myself, and Pixel are going down with rope tied to us, I believe. Rope tied between us.
Yeah, and then
And then
rope from me to Zephyros.
Zephyros. Yeah. 2 tugs it's okay. And we do that every now and then, and Zephyros knows we're still okay.
Can I put my ear to the water to listen in?
Sure.
Do you speak Aquan?
I cast comprehend languages.
Oh, nice.
Okay, it was Thurgus, Pharisee, and Pixel?
Correct.
Yes.
Right. And do you have any way of understanding Aquan, Pharisee?
Oh, I got this bear next to me.
Got it. So,
Critical translate.
Oh no.
interpreter
Worst
bear.
case scenario, if it becomes like a hard blocker or something like that, you could pick up your headband and wear this one. You just
could.
use some spell slots for 24 hours.
I could, yeah.
Yeah. I'm probably going to drink the Eagle Splendor when we go back down there.
Okay. Thurgus, Pharisee, and Pixel. Pharisee, you still have your -2 strength damage from your
I do.
penalty.
Yeah.
Let me see how long that lasts.
I can cast Restoration on that if you want.
Give me a
I've
second.
got 2 open slots for Restoration.
Give me a second. It is a penalty, and it may not last. It may not be damage. Let me check.
Oh,
It
okay.
was the green hag. I'll give that to you. Nope. It is damage.
I'd like to cast Lesser Restoration because I don't want her risking her swim checks.
Sure.
So can I roll a d4 for that?
Yep. Just
Son of a bitch.
just thinks. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the follow. Let us know if you have
-1.
any questions.
I lied. I only had 1 of those because I prepped bark skins and align weapons.
Okay.
So I can
Well,
only.
then I'm still at -1 strength.
Okay, you swim down into the cave. Pharisee, you do see the nests where the 3 hags may have laired, like they were at home in the water. You see the 2 cauldrons, which are really weird. One just has water in it, and then the other one, you can see the reflection from your own light of there being an air pocket up there.
I'll detect magic. I want to see if there are any spellbook type things.
Cauldrons of Flying.
You find a stone pike, and when I mean pike,
Excellent.
I mean the fish,
Yep.
Nice.
and it's got transmutation on it, and Pixel's going or however that sounds underwater. She's saying that's a familiar.
A stone familiar. Excellent. Let's
I don't think we should take
Okay,
anything.
it was in one of the beds.
yeah.
I'm also going to let you guys make perception checks. I will do it for you. Give me a second. Titan's gift. Now that you're looking in the beds,
I'm at +1 to that.
Thurgus 23 and Pharisee 24. That's good enough. So we're going to say 1 in 3 chance that each of the beds also has something in it. We'll say 3s are good. There is one item. What level are you guys?
8th.
8.
A greater minor wondrous chest. All right. Percentile, please, while I look at this table.
Greater minor item.
That's all you meant.
All right, I'll give the D100 48.
Average. Greater minor average.
Greater minor. Okay. Well, could be worse. Could be a lesser minor. Seriously?
It's a cauldron of flying, isn't it?
No, it's a blouse made out of fish.
That's so thematic.
That's appropriate.
Made out of fish scales.
How interesting. Okay.
Good roll, boys.
I think you already have one of these. Do you have a blouse?
I have a cackling hags blouse
Ah.
that I crafted for myself.
This is a gulping fish blouse.
Let's see what this thing does. Granting the +2 competence of blah if they have the cackle hex.
I do not, so this is giving me the cackle hex as a move action.
It's a fish-themed cackling hags blouse.
It's an excellent item for witches.
It's an excellent item for witches. Yeah, it's what we rolled. So yeah, one of them had a fish blouse that for whatever reason they were not wearing it.
So this is where they nested, not the offerings to the water elemental?
Yep.
Okay, so we feel like we can take that without being disrespectful.
Yeah, well, I do. I am.
So you grab the fish blouse out of one of the areas, and then the stone pike out of the other one. And I guess for symmetry, there will be something non-magical but still valuable. In the last one, we'll say.
Paddle, fishing rod.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, a beautiful set of fishing lures.
Yeah, some bobbers.
Like we're talking like not commercial fishing. It's the individual like fishing line. Apparently this hag like enjoyed snipping the lines off of people's fishing poles and taking all their lures. There are shiny ones and colorful ones, and there's probably 400 fishing lures down here.
Nice. Is it like in a bag or something?
They are strung up with fishing wire all around the sleeping area. All sorts of hooks and fishing line. So you'd have to cut them to take them down.
All right.
The hags were fond of
Thurgus.
crayfish. There are little crayfish shells everywhere. Some big snail shells. It's like they didn't clean out their cave.
I sense a different bubble.
Hello, I'm back. I'm here with my friend who would like to commune with you and offer knowledge and stuff.
This one is aligned to something different. For when the waters of summer grow cool, but before they freeze.
Yes.
And I will echo that back to Ferris.
What do you want, interloper? Why do you bring your heir down here?
Well, I tried to leave as much air up there as possible because I wanted to breathe water like people do, so to speak.
Yes.
I'll talk to Cersei and like.
Let us tell it that we have a common enemy in winter.
We are fond of lakes.
Yes, me too.
We remember lakes. We miss lakes.
You miss lakes. It misses lakes. We have a common enemy in winter. Do we not?
Winter, our surface freezes, and it is cold.
This winter, it will be a long one if we do not stave it off. It's not time for winter yet. It's still autumn.
Yes, it's not time for winter yet. It could be really long. Fair say, why are we here?
They'll freeze this pearl to death. We seek help in holding off the winter.
Yes.
Escaping to a place where winter can't reach us.
Come down here. Stand before the aspect.
It wants us to go down there and stand before an aspect.
Yes, that seems unwise. Let's do it.
Right. Okay, we're coming.
I sense the patrons down there.
Yes. We hope to make common cause with them, yes? Is it... We'll go carefully. Ask if it oh, I don't know. See if you can figure out if it wants to kill us.
Oh, hey, great bubble men. Yeah, we are totally down to go down there. But the thing is, you're not going to kill us, right? Like, you really like that soap.
This is way more fun than
speaking.
Yeah.
You are...
Guys, let me just say, it's going swimmingly, huh? Yeah? That's for you.
Man.
You are welcome down here.
Yeah, we're totally welcome. Everything's fine. Let's go.
Max is getting another fortune point, apparently. That's funny.
You might need help swimming out. All right.
Yep. Okay.
Yes, let's go a bit deeper.
You guys go swimming down. You get to the area where the water isn't churning as much anymore. It's like not kind of siphoning you downwards. But you do see a kind of glowing blue light up ahead. Kind of way down to the darkness. It's about 300 feet down. You get to the end of your ropes, and you can see that there's a chamber where that opens up. You're going to have to abandon your ropes or make them longer.
Well,
you said 200 feet, right?
Yeah, we had roughly 200.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we should give 2 tugs and then maybe tie something to the rope that lets them know we're totally okay. Like we did this on purpose, and send it up and then keep going.
Sure. Pixel, you can wait here if you wish.
Okay.
She holds on to the rope and just...
All right, I'll untie the rope from myself.
Okay.
And swim down another 100 feet.
Okay, the two of you swim down, and you're along the floor of a cavern. The cavern's got a really big coral encrusted statue that seems to be from a bygone age. There is a light well that might be coming down from a different part of the swamp, kind of casting light down upon this area. The statue is of a very large man-like figure with a trident and a lot of chains that are chaining him to a rock.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There are schools of fish floating all over the place, And you can see that there is a strange but different color light coming from behind the statue.
So we're here, Mr. Bubble Voice. Looking around a bit.
Water.
Are those chains intentional?
We are water. And it's water with a
Capital W.
capital W.
Yeah.
Hello, water. 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 Water.
Yes. And there are two watery shapes that kind of float out from behind the statue. They are made of water, but they are discernible enough as